Thank you again for the Port Moody Library for hosting this event. It's the second one in this home, and it's a great new home. The last one was a very successful event. I got a lot of positive feedback, and it's nice to see so many new faces here today. Also, thank you again to the Tri-City Community Television for filming these events. It's great for all the authors that basically afterwards they're going to make a nice succinct portfolio or just of your video, and you can put it on your website, and it's a great marketing tool to use. I use it on mine, and people think like, wow, that's good production. It's like, yeah, it is. So thank you again to both Bill and Jeff. So to get the ball rolling, I'd like to introduce to you Leesa Hanna. She is a writer and artist who has always felt a strong kinship to nature. She recently wrote and illustrated her first children's chapter book, The Big Adventures of Little O, a song for the salmon. She was longlisted for the Canadian Society of Children's Authors, Illustrators, and Performers for children's competition last year. So here to read from The Big Adventures of Little O, Leesa Hanna.
Hi everybody. I'm going to really have to project, so I'm going to do my best, so let me know if you can't hear me. My name's Leesa Hanna. I'm a local artist and writer. I live here in Port Moody. I live very close to the ocean that's just behind the library here, and the forest, which is where I draw most of my inspiration from. I've written a book called The Big Adventures of Little O, a song for the salmon. It's the story of a young orca, Little O, who's become separated from his pod while hunting for the salmon. And the book is basically about his journey to reunite with his family and find the salmon and realize his potential. He meets many different creatures along the way that help him by sharing their own stories of survival. And along the way, Little O forges a deep connection to Mother Nature through his dreams, and this transcends into his daily life, helping him to become more aware of his environment. I'm going to be reading a couple of chapters midway through, so at this point, Little O's been lost for a while, and he's met an otter and a porpoise and a heron who helps him remove a big fish hook from his fin. And this is where we're going to start. So this chapter is called I'm Hungry. Little O travels under the darkening sky while raindrops pelt his shiny skin. He rolls onto his back, letting them massage his belly. The damp, cool air is comfortably familiar. He enters a cove on the shores of an ancient soaring forest. The ashen clouds move along, and what remains of the day brings a warm glow to the towering treetops. Looking around, Little O knows he's been here before. He dives and searches the ocean floor, but comes to the surface empty-mouthed. I'm hungry, he yells. He thrusts his body upward and flies out of the sea, splashing down in an explosion of water. With a churn of his tail, he brings his body up and out of the water and twirls like a spinning top. Then he lets himself slide back into the sea. He bobs on the surface, his head whirling. Dizzy, he blinks and lets his eyes settle on the shore, where a blur of darkness moves across his view. Am I seeing things? He wonders. On the shore, an excited grizzly bear cub trots back and forth along the rocks. A larger bear lumbers to the water's edge. The golden tips of the grand bear's thick fur coat glistening in the fading sunlight. The creature stares at Little O. The cub hops up and down and side to side. You're here, he cries. I knew you'd be amazing. We've been waiting for you for like forever. I heard those fin flaps and I knew it was you. I told my mom, that's them, let's go, and we came, and here we are. And there you are. The little bear looks past Little O. Where's the rest of you? The rest of me? Little O flaps his tail and fins. I'm all here. Oh, well, where are they? Have you seen them? When are they coming? I can't wait. Little O can't help but get excited too. Where is what, Grizzly Bear? Whatever it is, I sure hope I get to see it too. Where are the salmon, of course, shouts the little bear. It is the salmon, silly. Oh, I wish I could tell you. I'm looking for the salmon too. This is where they come, isn't it? Little O looks around the bay. I knew I'd been here before. The big brown grizzly steps forward. Hello, my name is Ursus, and this is Grizz. We've been waiting for you. The orcas always come when the salmon arrive. I wish the salmon were here too, but it's just me. I'm Little O. You are... Ursus hesitates. Young. Are you traveling alone? I am, says Little O. It just kind of happened that way. I'm going to meet up with my pod soon. They're looking for the salmon too. We've been having a hard time finding them. Ursus grunts from deep within her belly, and a cloud of fog puffs out of her snout. I'm not surprised by this news, she says. I've spoken to other creatures of the land and sky. The wolves and the eagles are still expecting their return as well. They are, says Little O. I guess we're all waiting then. Ursus pushes her nose into the soft moss along the water's edge, pulling up roots and eating them. She strides along the shore, pulling and eating, pulling and eating. Where can they be? Little O looks over the cove to the open sea. He rolls onto his side and claps his fin on the water, making a tuneful tippity-tap. Grizz giggles. You like that? Says Little O. Watch this. With his nose to the sky, his powerful tail brings him up and out of the water. Balancing perfectly on the waves, he dances over the sea, along the shore's edge. The little bear runs after him on the rocks, laughing and cheering. Little O cruises to the shore, where he takes a good look at the little bear. Grizz giggles again with delight. Little O brings his tail fluke up and splashes him. Again, yelps little Grizz. He sees the fresh wound from his fishhook on Little O's fin, pink and puffy. Little O flips his injured fin upward. Are you looking at this? No, says the little bear. He kicks at the moss between his toes. It's okay. I know it looks bad, says Little O. Well, since you asked, what is that? Says Grizz. I got a gigantic hook stuck in my fin. It was attached to some flotsam. Whatsam? Says Grizz. Flotsam. It's human stuff. It floats in the sea, and no two are alike. This one was fierce. It almost took my fin right off. Oh no, that must have been awful, says Grizz. Were you scared? No, not really. You just have to be calm when this kind of thing happens. I figured it out. Geez, says Grizz, looking down at his paws and kicking at the dirt. His ears perk, and he shouts to Little O, "Want to play?" Yes, says Little O. Should I come up there, or do you want to come down here? Grizz laughs. You come up here. Okay, here I come. Little O swims away, then shifts his direction and rockets towards the shore. Look out, he cries. Just before he runs into the rocks, he skids onto his side, splashing Grizz in a wave of kelp-filled water. They laugh wildly as long locks of golden-green kelp hang from Grizz's ears like a mop of crazy hair. Grizz watches Little O put on a show, leaping out of the water, twisting in midair, and coming down with a gigantic splash. Waves of salty seawater soak Grizz, and he shakes himself back and forth and side to side. His thick coat spews everywhere, and he stomps in the puddle that is pooled under his feet. You're so lucky, Little O. You get to play in the water all day, every day, says Grizz. And you get to play in the forest, says Little O. It must be so fantastic. Grizz rests his head on the slate surface that drops down to the sea. He stretches his neck over the edge as far as it will go and wiggles his nose, sniffing the new scent. Little O moves in close to the rocks and rubs his belly along the smooth stone edge dividing their worlds. He flutters his tail, pushing himself upwards, and touches Grizz's nose before falling back into the water. They both giggle. Little O looks closely at Grizz's curious face and wonders if the long black bristles coming from his snout are as sharp as an urchin's quills. What's it like in the forest, Grizz? He asked. I've only ever seen it from the outside. What's it like on the inside? It's amazing. We live with the trees. Our den is at the bottom of a gigantic spruce, with huge branches of green that reach farther than the moon. There's soft, fluffy moss that covers the ground and keeps us warm. It gives me the best sleeps ever. Wow, it sounds weird, says Little O. Grizz laughs. We have the den all ready for our big winter sleep. We just need to eat a lot more food so we can get big and fat before we cuddle in. You'd never know that the world outside is icy and cold. Little O shivers at the thought. And we aren't the only ones that live in the trees. There are birds that sing beautiful songs, and squirrels live there too. They're everywhere. I I like to eat their nuts. Little O's eyes widen. Nuts? He says. Yep. They grow on trees. The squirrels have heaps of them. They stuff their cheeks full and hide them all over the forest to eat later. Little O laughs. I know, it's kind of sneaky of me, says Grizz, but they're so good. There are plums and berries, too. Those are crazy good. Berries? What do those taste like, says Little O. They're sweet and juicy and like no other food in the forest. There's gazillions of them. Wow, gazillions, says Little O. That's lots, right? Yep. The funny thing about the berries is that we eat them and then we poop them out, Grizz giggles. And more berries grow from the seeds in our berry poop. Poop berries, says Little O. He and Grizz laugh gleefully. What else is there, says Little O. There's deer. They like to eat the squirrel's nuts too, by the way. And there's moose. They're huge and grumpy. And there's mice. They're tiny and very fast. Grizz pauses for a moment. But my favorite thing about the forest is the way it makes me feel. Just after it rains and the sun comes out and the golden light streams through the branches, there's a special fog. It sparkles only for a moment and then it disappears. And right after that, there's the sweetest smell in the air. I love it. It reminds me every day that I'm home. That sounds a lot like the feeling I get from my home under the sea, says Little O. Our worlds are kind of the same after all. Yeah, ponders Grizz, I guess they are. Grizz, yells Ursus. I have to go, says Grizz. Good luck finding the salmon, says Little O. You too, says Grizz. Watch out for that flotsam. I will, and leave some nuts for the squirrels, will ya? Little O waves his fin. Bye, Grizz. The little bear moves toward his mama, holding on to Little O's gaze. Goodbye, Little O. May your path be clear and swift, says Ursus. Thank you. You too, says Little O. Ursus lowers her head and retreats into the forest. Little O and Grizz look back at each other for one last moment. They know they are not alike, but they also know they are connected, just as the trees are connected to the earth and the earth is connected to the sea. The wind picks up and whips the towering treetops back and forth, awakening the still clouds. A long rumble shakes the sky. Within seconds, a flash of light cuts through the night, and the forest babbles to the stormy skies. Little O thinks about the nuts and berries and wonders what they taste like. He thinks of his home and realizes it isn't a place. It's a feeling that lives inside him. It's his family, wherever they are. He dives below the thunderous skies into the shadows of the ocean and remembers his new friend Grizz. He pictures him nuzzling into the soft green moss. Life on land is so strange that it's hard for Little O to imagine this unusual place as part of his world. But that's just fine with him. He's quite happy to be right where he is.